Okay, ladies and gentlemen, how's everything going out there? And here we are again. I'm exhausted as hell. I've been using the resistance bands for my workouts, try to work off some of this fat. Tell you, I'm not, if I were bothered by my morphine, I wouldn't be fat. I wouldn't have this fat. I'd be wasted away. I wouldn't have an appetite. That's how I know I don't have any kind of opiate-like addiction. So, today is video 122. I'm just gaining more and more hours. I'll be up to 300 hours pretty soon. Things keep going the way they are. I want to go over a few things before I get into the cannabinoids of CBG and CBN. I think those are the two I'm going through. Yeah, CBG and CBN. Cannabigerol and cannabinol. But I want to start with I was talking about the acid markers. THCA, CBDA, CBGA, CBCA. Those are what they're called cannabinoid precursors. And these are activated through the decarboxylation process, or decarb. And that's where they use heat. And what it does is it throws off the acid molecule and makes THCA into the THC. That goes into our CB1 receptors and is changed into delta 8, delta 9, delta 11 for their various things that they have to do. So usually it's with heat, but they can also extract from the fresh buds. They can use anything, chemicals and all kinds of stuff, but CO2 extraction is the best and safest. But it pulls the THC and the CBD and all the necessary cannabinoids. They all come pulling out because they're all fat soluble, lipids, oils. Not. I wouldn't recommend corn oil. I recommend extra virgin olive oil, coconut oil. Coconut cooking oil is the best. If you get the thick, pasty coconut oil, that's good too. But ethyl alcohol, like Everclear, you can soak your stuff in there, and that makes you a double thing that you can actually drink, as well as get a buzz off of. So anyway, when they get exposed to the heat or some kind of energy, they lose their acid marker and they become what's called neutral cannabinoids. So we're going to start out with CBG, cannabigerol. While it is not present in large amounts in most strains, it's nonetheless worth learning about for a number of reasons. It is a non-psychoactive cannabinoid, and usually there's only 1% or less in most strains. 1% is a high concentration of CBG. I see spots. Excuse me. And I can't see squat without these. Okay. We're back again. And so, CBG. Non-psychoactive, 1% or less. Now get this. THC and CBD start out as CBG. It is called the chemical parent to THC and CBD. And something that it was unbelievable. They just had a commercial on TV for Culturel for regulating your bowels. Culturel for children. I'm sorry. If you feed your children well, I ate well. I ate farmer fare almost, Nothing fancy. No French cuisine, none of that shit. It was all meat and potatoes, stews, chicken and dumpling stew, and, that's what I grew up on. Real good food. Today, kids should not have constipation and digestive issues unless it's a medical issue that comes from something else. But if we're not feeding our children well enough that they need help for either diarrhea or constipation, it's uncalled for. I never had diarrhea or constipation growing up unless I was sick. And now they're recommending it for kids that just can't go or can go too much, and regulating their bowels. It's not right. And that's where hemp in our food chain would come in handy. As I've said, I'll bet we'd need less vaccines and we would see less food allergies, as well as less cancer. Now, CBG value is based on THC and CBD levels. If you have high THC, you're going to have more CBG in the strain, and vice versa. Higher CBD, you'll see less CBG in it. Now, our endocannabinoid receptors are prevalent in our eye structures. And interestingly enough, CBG is thought to treat glaucoma by reduction of the inner eye pressure. It's a powerful vasodilator, opens up your blood cells and cools your body off, and it's a neuroprotective. Mouse studies so far have shown CBG is good for inflammatory bowel disease. In 2015, they had mouse models that showed CBG protects neurons in mice with Huntington's disease, which is a nerve cell degeneration in the brain. CBG also shows great promise as a cancer killer. It's been shown to block the receptors that can cause cancer cell growth, and it also shown to inhibit the growth of colorectal cancer cells. European research on CBG has found it's an excellent antibacterial agent, particularly for MRSA. I told you, MRSA's up in the top 10 of the pharma death clock I went over. It's methicillin-resistant Staphylococcus aureus. Okay, it's a bad staph infection. CBG kills it. So it's anti-tumoral and antibacterial. It's even a promising agent for bladder dysfunctions, your regular bladder. Now, CBN is also like CBG, as it is not directly synthesized in the plant. Instead, it's a breakdown of the product of THCA. And this is why older flowers will tend to have a higher CBN content, especially if not properly stored. Cool, dry place, as airtight a package as you can get it. And if you can keep it at a steady 61% humidity, that's perfect. Your buds will last a long time. So time and oxygen exposure is what will usually break down your THCA into CBN. Now, CBN has been observed to result in greater sedation when combined with the THC. That's when you get your couch lock, your extra buzz on top of the buzz, the kind where you just, wow, I could really go for some Cheetos. But my arm won't reach into the kitchen. I'm just not going to get them right now. You get the munchies so bad that you don't want to get up. That's a couch lock strain. And that's what I go for. Although it doesn't hit me like that. As much tea as I drink, I still don't feel stoned. So, anyway, back to this. CBN cannabinol has been observed to result in greater sedation. Okay, I went over that. And it may have anticonvulsant or anti-seizure, anti-inflammatory, and antibiotic properties. However, this is again an understudied cannabinoid, and more work needs to be done to quantify its true properties. Now, just by the properties they've found already, in both CBG, CBN, and the last video, THC and CBD, that should tell everybody that prohibition of this plant species is ignorant. And all it is that one little thing, the buzz. That's what people can't get past. And they've got to understand that that buzz itself has medical value. It does. No matter what the Controlled Substances Act says, it has been wrongly put there through hate, propaganda, scare tactics, and bullshit. Holier than thou people who think they know what's best for us, okay? No, I hate politicians and shit that think they know what everybody wants, because it's what they want, and they think everybody's like them. Well, it's not like that, okay? And the way politicians look down on us pisses me off, and that's why I do this, because I want to be shouting back up at them, up yours. This is the facts, okay? Get off the soapboxes and quit prohibiting us the use of this plant while alcohol is lauded on TV commercials. Alcohol is responsible for more deaths than cigarettes. But guess what got pulled off of TV? Cigarettes, not alcohol. And alcohol is still, because so many people are quitting smoking, using vaping, which they're also trying to say now that vaping is just as bad. Well, vaping is you can actually decrease the amount of nicotine you're getting. That's how me and Debbie quit with our vapes. Okay, we found some good flavors at the place, and they had hundreds of flavors. You know, it's great, and we just dropped our nicotine levels until we quit cigarettes. I only went back to cigarettes in 2013 after I got pot, or actually 2014. It took me a few months of constantly being and I finally smoked a cigarette, and that eased it up. And that's why I smoked just a few cigarettes a day. So anyway, where was I? Understudied plant. Now, I've gone over the CBG and CBN. Let's take another look at the endocannabinoid system itself, just to clarify things and put them out there. Alright, like our CB1 receptors, these are primarily located in the brain, most specifically in the basal ganglia, and in the limbic system, which is the reward system. Okay? That's where sex and food and things like that make us feel good. That's why we get the munchies, and that's why food is more flavorful. Okay? You like Cheetos when you're straight, but let me tell you, when you get high, you adore Cheetos. And it's hard to explain, but it increases the pleasure you get from the foods that give you pleasure. So if you get off on chocolate, you're going to get off even more getting high with chocolate. That's in here someplace. So anyway, limbic system is your reward system, including the hippocampus and the striatum, and it is also found in the cerebellum of both male and female reproductive systems. They're absent in the medulla oblongata. That's the part of the brain responsible for respiratory and cardiovascular functions. And that's what I've said before. If you get a high heart rate and shortness of breath from getting high, you can't handle the high. That's all. You are not going to die. Relax, breathe deep, into the nose, out through the mouth, and you'll calm down and you'll come off that paranoid feeling of, oh my God, heart palpitations and you can't breathe. It's a panic reaction. It's you. I'm sorry to say, it's your fault. It's not the weed, although it is the weed's strength and you. And that's what you have to learn. And I tell people when they, when you're first trying, if you've never had it before, get a gram each of sativa and an indica. Get 1 gram each, okay? Because you can get 2-3 good joints off of a gram. So you have 2 to 3 joints. Excuse me. And after the second or third of one, you will notice, sometimes your first joint you don't feel. It takes the second joint and the third. But by 3 joints, you'll know if that strain works and how it's working on you. And if you go through Leafly and things like that, you can find out the finer points of what's in the strain. Okay, it might be a sativa, but it might have some sedating and euphoria to it, more so than most sativas. And it all depends on CBN, CBG content, other cannabinoids, because it's not just THC and it's not just CBD. So, like I said, that it is not the weed, it's you. If you can't handle the high. Wow, 16 minutes. And I've already gone through most of what I already went through page and a half of notes. Now, CB1s are also extremely prevalent in the human anterior eye and retina. And that's for a reason. We're tied to this plant for a reason. And we have the receptors behind and in our eyes. Why? Because pot helps us. It helps us see, and it prevents cataracts and glaucoma. Now, the CB2s, I've said, predominantly found on your immune system and immune-derived cells, with the greatest intensity is in the spleen. Now, while found only in the peripheral nervous system, reports indicate that the CB2s is also expressed by a subpopulation of microglia, which in the human cerebellum, which accounts for 10 to 15% of all brain cells. And the CB2s appear to be responsible for the anti-inflammatory and possibly other therapeutic effects of cannabis seen in animal models. So the difference between cannabinoids is determined by the extent that they are psychologically active. Yes, psychologically. So psychoactive. There's 3 classes, the CBG, CBC, and CBD, that are not known to be psychoactive. Now THC, CBD, CBDL, and some others are known to be psychoactive by varying degrees. That's where CBD, straight from hemp, has less than 1% THC, which means it's going to have super low CBG content and CBN content. Even if you let the weed age more, it still won't get enough CBN to really produce any euphoria. If anything, it will get weaker in its effects. Now, the ECS, just to put it in another way, the endocannabinoid system is a biological system composed of endocannabinoids, which means endogenous, inside. And they are lipid-based retrograde neurotransmitters that bind to the cannabinoid receptors throughout the body in the mammalian central nervous system. Mammals, us, vertebrates, including the brain peripheral nervous system. The ECS is involved in regulating a variety of physiological and cognitive processes, including fertility, pregnancy, pre- and postnatal development, along with appetite, pain sensation, mood, and memory. and it mediates the pharmacological effects of cannabis. ECS is also involved in mediating some of those psychological and cognitive effects of voluntary physical exercise. This is why there's a lot of ex-sports players and current sports players that want to use marijuana. You can't say it's a performance-enhancing drug like steroids, because what does pot do? It makes you laid back. That's not what you want in a football player or a basketball player. You want them to move, right? So why not let them use marijuana during their workouts? Because it is proven to increase your wind capacity. Because it cleans out your lungs of shit that we breathe every day. Even in our houses, we're inhaling dust mites, all kinds of shit floating in the air you don't even know about. Beat your rug outside and look at the cloud. Your feet stir that up when you're walking, okay? And some of that cloud that you're seeing is getting inside you. That's how it goes. In fact, that's my last chore I have to do before I can nap today, is I have to vacuum. We have to vacuum out the heater vent before we can turn the heater on. Anyway. But like I said, this is why ex and current sports players want to use cannabis. And they should be able to. Because in the immortal words of Robin Williams, he says, what did he say? He says, yeah, weed's about as performance enhancing, it's the only thing that a threat is cake, it's how fast can I run for that cake, put the cake at the finish line. I blew his joke, I don't know. But anyway, it works on the bloodstream. It's a vasodilator. That moves your blood faster through your body. People that work out need that, okay? You want your blood vessels to dilate. That's when you sweat. Your blood vessels dilate and your moisture content comes out through sweat and everything. And it's coming from your blood, filtering out in layers. And it's found out to be a boon for people to work out and for those players who are injured, just like our vets, okay? And the way we treat our ball players, I'll bet they'll let football players use pot before they'll let veterans, because that's how this country acts on some things. Sports players are more important. Bullshit on the sports players being more important, or vets are more important. They deserve pot for PTSD. Football players, sure. Basketball players, all sports players should be able to use cannabis for workouts. I'm not saying they get stoned and go out in the field. You'll see a lot of errors in baseball then. I got it. Oh, shit, it's over there. Anyway, where did I go? So, I'm responsible. Therapeutic effects. Varying degrees. Where did I? Yes. Found right down here. Right. So, it contributes to your exercise. It induces the euphoria of a runner's high, which is what you are shooting for, because that's where your body releases these endorphins and stuff and anandamide to give you this euphoric effect. That's from, working out. And as well, it modulates locomotor and motivational salience for rewards, also through the limbic system. I do have 2 pages left, so this will be a few more minutes. In human models, the plasma concentration of certain endocannabinoids, for example, anandamide, as in chocolate, have been found to rise during physical activity. Since the endocannabinoids can effectively penetrate the blood-brain barrier, it's been suggested that anandamide, along with other euphoriant neurochemicals contributing to the runner's high, or contribute to. I get talking. I'm sorry if I get talking too fast and people can't understand me. Pause, rewind. But I'm trying to be as succinct and clear as I can. Some people think I'm stoned when I'm doing this. I'm not. I'm up in the 5 pain level right now. I just posted on my group. Look at what a number 5 is. It hurts. So anyway, studies have found that cannabinoids act as neuromodulators for a variety of processes, including motor learning, appetite, and pain sensation, among other cognitive and physical processes. Without THC, any other cannabinoids you can give your children can help them. It'll help improve their cognitive abilities. Okay? I'm not saying blow smoke in your kid's face. I'm not talking about hotboxing with your kid in the car. Okay? This is individual cannabinoids that you can get, sativa strains, CBD only from hemp, or even CBD from the marijuana plant that has other cannabinoids in it, because those are what you want. And it helps children. It helps growth. Okay? Like I said, along with the workouts, it helps you work out. It helps you grow muscle. So it also would help children think. Okay? And without the euphoria. Okay? They should make special supplements that are marijuana, that they've removed the THC. So you can give your kids this cannabinoid pill, and all ages can have these cannabinoid pills that don't have THC. We have this technology. We can do this. Think about it. And if we just lift this ignorant prohibition, children under the age of 18 can be given all cannabinoids except THC. And that should be available, because it can. It'll help your children to grow healthier. I'm short, not quite stocky, thin-boned. I took after my mother. Okay, and that's why my weight's so small. My sister's huge. My dad just had a beer gut. My sister is, we'll get into that though. She needs to smoke. But where was I talking? I'm talking about learning, cognitive abilities. Just imagine your children learning faster. Okay? Skip the terrible 2s and whatever they call the 3s. Let the kids grow faster. Okay? They can. It's any child is able to. That's why they have some kids that are 10 years old and ready for college. It's because they've soaked in and they've got this ability, to soak in this knowledge and keep it at a young age. Way before you would normally think. Okay? That's because the brain will grow at its own rate. So I think that other cannabinoids without THC given to children under 18, even from the age of 2 up, start dosing your children with cannabinoids. We'll see less children getting bored in class. We'll see more children coming home with A's. We'll have smarter people, okay, and less slums for people, because people will be more into helping keep the neighborhood look good. It's a long road what I'm talking about. But I think in the long run, that will be something viable. If you think about it, take your whole plant, pull the THC out of it, leave the other cannabinoids, and it helps the children to learn and grow. And that's a good thing. And it helps people to work out, to grow muscle. Okay? It's helping me. My topical salve and that, because I've got these. Oh, actually, this one's a better one. This is one of Debbie's. Signature. Joe Namath. Power bands. And I've been using these for my shoulder over here. And it's actually helping. And I have the cannabis salve to put on it, and that kills the pain. But it's helping me. It's helping me to lean up and get more muscle, even though I live a sedentary life. I'm able to stand up and do about 10 to 15 minutes of my mixed martial arts, which is a mixture of Tai Chi, Judo, Karate, Wing Chun, Kung Fu, and all kinds of things. Because I've been in so many arts and so many martial arts that I can combine all these little pieces of them and have my own little personal martial art. You know, like Bruce Lee had his Jeet Kune Do. I know some of that too. But pot has always been there when, like, not in basic training, but when I went to permanent duty station, everybody was partying at night. You know, from Friday night to Monday morning, you wouldn't see an officer on deck. They were afraid to come in the barracks, and everybody was token up. This was 79 to 82. And that's what it was like in my duty station. They only just started piss testing us in my last 6 months there. And we all had to clean up. Because if you drop dirty twice, if you drop dirty once, you got an Article 15. You drop dirty twice, you go to the break and lose a rank. And it was just, but when I worked out and I was smoking cannabis, it was great. I would get high in the barracks and I would jog over to the gym and I'd work out, and I had a better workout. Looking in retrospect, I had better workouts when I had smoked previously. So I believe in this. I believe in this very highly. And now studies have found that cannabinoids act as neuromodulators. Yes, I just went through all that. The localization of CB1 receptors has a very large degree of overlap with the, let's see if I get this one right, orexinergic projections system that is in the lateral hypothalamus. And it's a system of neurons that mediates an array of cognitive and physical processes such as promoting feeling, behavior, arousal, pain reduction, pain perception, and regulating of body temperature. Weed, as a vasodilator, cools the body. So smoking weed makes you cool. Get it? There's actually a meme of that I found on Pinterest. So smoking weed does make you cool, as a double entendre. And regulating digestive functions on OxyContin, bad constipation. We're talking bricks. Okay? It's like get the spoon and the plunger out. So now I'm on morphine, which one of the side effects is frequent constipation. No. I am totally regular and I do not need laxatives or extra fibers or anything. My diet is fine and the pot helps me digest everything properly. It's just storing extra fat and stuff because I'm not as active as I used to be. And I'm trying. That's why I got the power band and stuff. All the stuff Debbie's had in the closet. Like I said, Joan Namath. She got those in the 80s. So these things are 30 years old. But good attention to them. I've got 3 different kinds. And there's some stuff by Gaiam, G-A-I-A-M. Look them up. They got a lot of nice stuff. But they've got resistance bands that are in 3 different colors. And each color is a strength. There's an easy, a medium, and a hard. And I highly recommend them for those of us with a lot of pain that don't move around a lot. Because we can't, because of my back and stuff. I do my exercises sitting down here with the resistance bands. Even with my legs, I can do it. So I highly recommend those. So, orexinergic projection system in the lateral hypothalamus. So, from the American Cancer Society's website, a number of small studies so far of smoked pot found it can be helpful with nausea and vomiting due to chemotherapy. That's what Marinol is for, Nabalone. A few studies have found that inhaled pot to be helpful treatment of neuropathic pain. This is coming from the American Cancer Society. It has helped improve food intake for AIDS patients. Studies have shown that regular users need less pain medications. And even more recently, scientists report that THC and CBD, among the other minor cannabinoids, slow the growth of and or cause death in certain types of cancer cells grown in lab dishes. Let me put that in. So far, they haven't gone into the humans. And that's why there's still 1.1 million people dying every year from chemotherapy. Because they won't legalize. Without legal weed, they won't put it in the cancer system. Okay? In the cancer treatment system. And I think it should be. The cancer treatment center should have cannabis ready for every patient. They should have the cannabis oil, Rick Simpson oil. It's cheap to make. Okay? It doesn't cost you much more than the price of the buds itself. And you can cook this down. You make a 90-day supply to where you're ingesting a gram a day by the 90th day. And you will be cancer-free of 34 known cancers, including 4 of the worst cancers known that chemotherapy has shown no effect, and in most cases makes it worse. That's why cannabis should be legalized. The American Cancer Society is admitting it. Slows the growth and or causes the death in certain types of cancer cells grown in lab dishes. Doesn't that tell you that we need to take that next step? And we need the lifting of the prohibition. We need complete nationwide legalization. Nothing else will work. Because that's when people can just grow it and study it and make individual pills of individual cannabinoids. Okay? But don't go skyrocketing prices and putting high, okay? Because it won't cost that much. And there should be a price lock, where this can be affordable to everybody without having to pay extra for your insurance to be able to cover it. Okay? Because once it's legalized, then the insurance companies have got to look at it as a possible, you can get an ounce. I pay $3.25. I might be able to go in and pay $100 for a copay. And the $2.25 will come back to the dispensary from insurance. Because I'm paying $30 for $2,400 worth of morphine. I pay $30. perfect insurance. United Healthcare. It's great. But the American Cancer Society has admitted it right here on their own website. And that certain cannabinoids may slow the growth and spread of some forms of cancer. So doesn't this make this an imperative that we should just stop all of this chemo and crap? Now, I want to tell you that there's some non-marijuana plants that contain cannabinoids. Just so you know that it's not cannabis and not hemp alone that has the market cornered on cannabinoids. I have 6 plants here. And we'll do that for the rest of this. Well, let's try to do it in 20 minutes and make this an hour long. Echinacea, or echinacea, whatever you want to call it. It's a tea. People have it in their cupboard in tea bags. Echinacea is the cone flower, C-O-N-E, flower. And it interacts with the CB2 receptors regulating our immune system, pain, and inflammatory response. Okay, and you've probably seen echinacea as a homeopathic ingredient in cold and flu meds. Okay, like I can't even think of the name of the thing right now. It's blanked. But there's a couple cold stoppers that, are on TV. And they have echinacea in them. And that's why. So, because echinacea does a little bit of everything from fighting cold symptoms to reducing anxiety, arthritis, and fatigue. Something called the electric daisy, Acmea or Asmea oleracea, A-C-M-E-L-L-A, Acmella oleracea, also known as the toothache plant, for a good reason. So, this is an Amazon native plant that can be turned into a potent painkiller for toothaches. They probably found out by chewing on it or something that, hey, it helped my tooth. Because we didn't have dentists until 200 years ago. Now, let's see if I get this right. Helichrysum umbracularium. Helichrysum. And I'll bet the umbracia will come up later when you type that in. But technically it's a daisy, and it's native to South America. It contains large amounts of CBG, cannabigerol, which gives it antidepressant and anti-inflammatory properties. Some people have heard of this. You don't see it a lot. Liverwort, or Radula marginata. This is native to New Zealand. It contains parotenoic acid, which is similar to THC. And, like THC, it interacts with the CB1 receptors. However, it has no psychoactivity. And it traditionally treats bronchitis, gallbladder, liver, and bladder problems. These are foods, these are plants, these are wild-growing things. Chocolate, number 5. Theobroma cacao. And it's the anandamide in the chocolate that does it. It says, ever wonder why tokers like to eat dark chocolate before lighting up? Because it interacts with the endocannabinoid system in a way that it boosts the high in the CB1 receptors. And without pot alone, chocolate makes us happy and relaxed. Number 6, and last and final, and we're still under an hour. Piper nigrum, black pepper. Research has found that black pepper acts as a cannabinoid with anti-inflammatory properties, making it suitable for treating arthritis and osteoporosis. Further research found black pepper can increase the effectiveness of cancer treatment medications. Wow, we did that in 45 minutes, people. Yay! I don't know what I'm going to do for the rest. There's 80 cannabinoids and I've only gone over 4. So, I don't know how deep I'll get into all the others. But I could always use some suggestions. Give me questions, topics that I can research stuff and prepare for you, like I did with all those notes. And I add my own thoughts in, and I hope I've made it clear where my thoughts lie. Because people say, oh, you want cannabis pills for children? Ah, evil son of a bitch. No, it's not that. It's where they should even be able to synthesize these individual cannabinoids so that there's a selection, almost like vitamins on the shelf. Okay, you have a selection of CBD pills, CBN pills, CBG pills, CBR pills, okay? And any that cause psychoactivity should be behind the counter and prescription worthy, or at least behind the counter, like all the drugs that make meth nowadays are now behind the counter. You have to ask for some cold remedies because people make meth out of them. Idiots ruined it for everybody. It made us have to wait in line and get up there and say, I need this, when you shouldn't. It used to be on the shelves. Ephedrine used to be on the shelves, and it was a good bronchodilator and it helped my asthma and COPD. But a few bad apples started making meth, and it ruined it. So they made ephedrine a controlled substance. So anyway, what I was saying is with individual pills and the way these cannabinoids influence cognitive behavior and learning, as well as helping us work out by cleaning our lungs, by cleaning the neurons in our brain, by increasing blood flow, helping regulate blood pressure, okay? It keeps my liver clean, my gallbladder, my spleen, everything feels great. And I've got the blood tests to prove it. The only thing is I have this chronic intractable pain from all my joints and all the discs that are pressing on my spine and make it hard for me to move around fast. That's the only thing limiting me. If it weren't for those, I would be hopped up, riding bikes. In fact, I've been thinking maybe getting a cheap 10-speed to ride down to the store. I think I can go that far and back. I think I can. But it might take me rest afterwards. But I have nothing to do every day but rest. And smoke weed. Watch TV. That's my life. I have a sedentary lifestyle. I live at a dead-end road. Well protected, so don't show up unexpected. Call first. But anyway, so leading this sedentary lifestyle, smoking this weed, I have found that it helps me feel better after a workout. Okay, because normally my Tai Chi was just making me bleh. I had to lay down and take a nap after I did it. Well, that's not what you're supposed to do after you work out. You're supposed to keep moving. Okay, to let the runner's high, euphoria, and the blood flow, let it all happen, let it go. If you rest, boom, you actually lose a lot of what the workout was for in the first place. And you'll turn your proteins into fat instead of lean muscle. So you have to stay up. Me, however, I'm going to grab a few puffs. I've already been up 6 hours, so it's time for bed. Yes, 6 hours, almost 7. I got up early this morning. So, we kept this under an hour. CBG, CBN, a little bit more on the endocannabinoid system, Help me out by sharing. Just share. Share, 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 share. Tag state representatives. Tag people that you think can help legalize pot in your state. Tag the president. I have been, but I've stopped doing it because I'm getting no response. Not even a White House saying stop doing this. They're not paying attention. And if nobody's going to pay attention, why bother? But I'm still going to keep shooting these videos because I still say we need complete and utter legalization, then rules and regulations for age use and for what cannabinoids that age can use. Because CBD is good for any age. And CBG, as long as it's been non-psychoactivized, or however you want to put it. But just think about the boon in smarter children coming out of our schools. Okay, I'm sorry, but when I went to school, my high school was one of the top rated in the nation. Okay, we put out brilliant people. And my friend, Dr. John, hey John, he came from Jamesville DeWitt High School just like I did. I did my last year at another school because I moved. But I forgot where I was going. I'm tired. I hurt. It's time to upload this and get it going. But I hope I gave people more of an understanding. And I hope I get some feedback and tell me what you want me to say or research. I will find out what you need to know and what I can, everything I can get off the internet or wherever I get it. I'm happy to do it. It helps me get through the day. Because this right here takes half of my day. An hour to shoot, an hour to watch. Then I got upload time, and I have to watch it while it's uploading because the screensaver comes on after half an hour, and boom, I have to sometimes have to wait for it to reboot itself, and then go through the video from the beginning again. It's just ridiculous. The Samsung tablets was doing fine until they updated it. And then the phones. My Samsung Galaxy S8 was doing great. And then they upgraded it, or updated. This update happened at like 11 o'clock at night. And I've done it 3 times so far. Now my predictive text is gone. I had to download the Kika keyboard system. So I had my predictive text, because I need that. I can't do all that punching and texting, because my hands hurt. So I use the predictive text. I get 2 words in there, and I've got a choice of 10 things. So I can pick them. Predictive text helps people with arthritis. But anyway, enough bitching about Samsung. Get yourself some resistance bands, along with magnets. Work out with the magnets on. That will help. Trust me. It makes my joints feel better when I'm moving things around. And it's really been helping me a lot. So, morphine, marijuana, magnet therapy, my mental way I keep myself going by reading, doing chores, doing my braiding, doing these and the braided keychains. I just keep myself as busy as possible. So give me ideas for topics for marijuana only. And let me do a video for you. Until then, peace, love, truth, and happiness. We need to free marijuana from the prison of ignorance. Thank you.